Welcome to Backstage with Kennedy. This little show will be your remedy. From Toronto, spanning across the sea. Cool people, lots of laughs. This is your favorite podcast.
Hello and welcome. My name is from the Backstage with Kennedy podcast. I'm here with Francess of Beast Music, very talented singer, real artistic mind, and I'm just super excited to have her on the podcast. I had a vinyl; it was displayed right behind me, and then it just fell behind the couch. So I'm gonna have to get that afterwards. So anyway, how you doing today?
I'm good. A little hungover,
Good.
to be honest. But
Yeah, I mean it's COVID. That's what it's doing to I think all of us really.
no.
Is are you still able to work on music throughout this all? Like, are you finding that you're more creative because of COVID, or like are you starting to almost like chill back, I guess, a little?
I find that I've had more time to work on music in a different way. Like I've been thinking a lot about independence as a musician because I rely so much on having a band, having like a group of people to collaborate with and kind of also help me because I'm not that confident in my instrument. But
Yeah.
it's kind of forced me to get better at guitar and figure out how to do things out on my own.
Yeah, cool. So I listened to I found out about you pretty recently from our mutual friend Mike, who happens to be in Beast Music, as well as Bat, who I interviewed. I interviewed Mike last week, I think it was. And he dropped off this vinyl and he said, "Enjoy." That's all he said. So I'm definitely. I listened to the vinyl. I've played it now. I've listened to the whole album, front to bottom, and I've listened to the music video. Your single that you released. Oh my God,
The
that
video,
was
the pretty when I drown.
that was so good.
Yeah, I actually had that idea for like 3 years ago before the band even started.
It was incredible. The idea was a beautiful thing because it was a little bit like dark. Like
Yeah, I hope it was really dark.
I'm like really into like punk music and stuff like that, and a lot of like alternative rock, like metal kind of stuff. So when I did hear that, I got a little bit of that like gothic punky feel to it, but at the same time it was smooth and like those guitars were real southern blues. It was gorgeous. I was really happy to hear it. So thank you for doing that. What's how did you create that sound? Like what was the idea behind it to make that sound?
For that song specifically, I actually wrote that song a long time ago when I was still living in Kingston. I lived in Kingston for a couple of years. And I had that video idea a long time ago as well. And then I brought it to the band and it kind of became something totally different, as it always does. It became a lot funkier. And then afterwards, like in the studio too, Mike did a lot to it, kind of propped it up, cut some parts out, made it really cool.
Yeah, the sound itself though, like the guitar, like was it everybody kind of put a collaborative idea in the band into it just to create this full sound of what Beast Music really is?
Yeah, I think one of the best parts of Beast Music is that we're all totally different in what we listen to and where we come from. So the style becomes very like kind of genre bending because it's collaborative, because what I listen to and what I play is not what Mike plays, is not what Ben plays. Ben and Brady, the sax player, the bass player, both are like really like funk. So they're very influenced by that. And then Mike and I would listen to a lot of punk, and so does Jim. And Mike loves like blues music and stuff like that. I think for me, like a lot of my guitar parts come from the fact that I don't really know how to play. So I just kind of pick the chords that I can play, and then it becomes something based off that in a lot of ways.
That's pretty badass. And like, you know what? I've actually heard that, like, I've never heard that idea of it, which is really quite cool. Like, it's different, you know?
Yeah. I think for me, like a big part of me getting into music, it took me a long time. Like I didn't start seeing myself as a musician until way later because I thought, um, I'm not good, but I don't want to base the things I do in my life off what I'm good at. I want to base it off what I like.
Exactly.
So
Did you grow up in like a super musical family, or are you more like the odd one out, I guess?
very musical family. My mom, when we were kids, would play everything. Like some of my best memories are driving around the car, and she'd play like Fatboy Slim, and then she'd play like John Prine right afterwards. So it was very like we were taught to kind of like love and appreciate all music and not to discredit anything.
Yeah, those are very, very diverse artists you just named off.
Yeah.
Very,
And
but
she did too because she let me listen to like she took me to see Hilary Duff when I was a kid. I think that's important for anyone's musical growth to not be shamed. Like my first CD was the B-52s and my first concert was Hilary Duff. So I think that's good to have like variety and not discredit anything.
yeah, absolutely. So you're not just in Beast Music. You do have a bunch of collaborative projects on the side. Um,
Yeah.
tell me about those. And
So
the lo-fi hip hop idea kind of came to mind when I heard that diversity in the music.
yeah, so I have a friend, Tommy Kelly, just did his put out his first record, Lidwood, on Spotify, Apple Music, Bandcamp, all that. And it's really great. I have some vocals on the second track, but we've just started recording some demos, and hopefully we'll put out an EP. But he's great because he kind of pushes me in the sense of like it's not the genre that I'm used to doing,
Yeah.
and I'm not just like screaming at people, kind of thinking more about the sound. Like I feel like what I do at Beast Music is less about creating pleasant sounds and more about creating authentic emotion. And
Hmm.
I'm kind of leaning now towards I want to try to explore making music that is pretty and is about as much about the sound as it is about what I have to say. So
Yeah.
that's,
Yeah, I like that. And I listened to the song that you did send me from him, and
yeah,
I was very impressed. I mean, I come
that is
from
great.
I was a hip hop artist for quite a few years, and I
Mm-hmm.
love hip hop. And I know he's not full on hip hop, like he's more in like the production side of like it's very like lo-fi is the way I think of
Yeah,
it.
yeah, we
So
do it all.
I have a big appreciation for that. Like those beats were just incredible that he was putting out, and I mean, yeah, even like very nice, very nice. So yeah, what's I like to ask this question because I feel like it's important that people know not just the person for their music, but they know
Mm-hmm.
like what they are like outside of the music, I guess. Like
Yeah.
because you can pull from and think, maybe they're like this, maybe they're like this because
Mm-hmm.
of the way that their music portrays them. Um, what do you do in your spare time? Like what do you do outside of like you said you're hungover, so I mean I assume you probably
Yeah, I
don't.
do. Yeah, I do a lot of whatever I want, I guess. A little chaotic. Um, Sorry, my roommate just came home. I'm sitting like
Oh,
right
it's
outside my house, dripping on my head. I do. Yeah, I guess I just kind of do a lot of fuckery. Like I just do whatever comes to my head. I don't like to waste the day. I like to kind of push my body and push myself to see what it is that I can, how many emotions I can fit into a day. I guess if that makes sense. And I love my friends. My friends are my family. I spend a lot of time with them. Um, all have similar philosophies. All take care of each other. I love to make music. Like I'll take any opportunity. I always feel like there's no opportunity to create the song that you would create if you just did it right now. So I never want to miss that. So I try to make music as much as I can. I write a lot. Um, I just got a bike. I'm very excited. I have a bike now,
nice.
so I feel very liberated by that. I feel like I can just go anywhere that I want, which is
When I,
excellent.
when I got a bike and because I live out in Etobicoke, when I got
Yeah.
a bike, that was like the most amazing moment because yeah, I could just like rip around the city, and I didn't have that freedom before. It's like, oh, it's gonna take me an hour to get downtown. Now it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
oh,
It does.
it's,
Yeah, it's really nice.
it's a breeze. So Mike mentioned that you were very articulate and very one of the wisest people he's ever met.
Wow.
Yeah. So were you like much of like a books person? Like, do you read a lot of books and stuff like that? Because I find that people are very like articulate and well with their words tend to read a lot. Personally, I am a terrible reader, so not me. But do you do a lot of reading?
When I was a kid, I read constantly. Like I barely did anything else. I would just read and listen to music. And yeah, I don't know. I think that one of the biggest things that reading did for me as well is it developed my sense of my empathy and my ability
Mm.
to relate to people and your imagination and um, a moral code. Like I read a lot of fantasy as a kid. I think it influenced my morals a lot, like how strict I am with myself and the expectations that I have of people. And I guess that's the intention of those authors when they write those books is to pass on those lessons. And it's
Mhm.
really work.
Mhm. So what's upcoming for Beast Music? Is it kind of just, are you working on just getting the promo out for that last project? Because honestly, it deserves all the promo in the world. I want the more and more people to hear it. Is there anything kind of in the future ideas, or are you just kind of pushing this as hard as you can right now?
Well, one of the big things for me is my over the course of like quarantine, my biggest shift musically has been like what I want. Like I think that I before quarantine, before I spent all that time with myself, I was so set on the idea that like in order for our music to have value, it had to be widely known, and that that would validate me as a person, as a human being, that I had contributed something to the world, that I was, you know, successful. But I don't know. I spent a lot of time alone and playing a lot of music, and now I'm kind of, I guess I'm not as keen to promote it because I don't. I just want to make it as good as possible. I don't ever want to think that I have to change what I'm doing in order to have mass appeal. I don't want all of our music to be pleasant to listen to. Um, I want people to find it on their own and to fall in love with it. I don't really care about selling a million records. I mean, the appeal of being able to be successful for me is that all I have to do is play music. I would love for my life to be that all I had to do is play music, and I would like to reach people, but you can't force it down their throats because it won't be genuine either. You know, I don't want to post a bunch of pictures and that's the appeal. You know, I want it to be about the sound.
Absolutely, and I think there's actually, I think from the outside in, when people are starting to get into music, they often think,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I want to be famous, or
Yeah.
that's the idea of success is like, I want to move to California, I want to have a mansion in the hills, and that's about
Yeah.
it. You know what I mean? But I think as we become musicians and like grow as musicians, that totally takes a backseat, and we don't even think of that really. It's, what
Yeah.
are we doing to help grow our internal love for music and life, you know?
Music's always just felt really inevitable to me. Like I tried to do school for a bit, and I ended up basically failing out because all I was doing was making music. It didn't really feel like a choice. You know, like I was just not going to class. I could stay home and listen to music. And when I did go, I would end up just writing the whole time, like lyrics and poetry. And I just realized that like it didn't. There was almost like nothing I could do to stop myself from doing it. So I might as well just give it everything, and then there's no going back, kind of thing.
Do you write music as therapy? I know a lot of people do. I personally did when I was writing a lot. Do you write as therapy as well?
Yeah. It's difficult for me because I also drink as therapy.
Yeah.
So it becomes hard because for a long time I convinced myself that I was a better artist when I was wasted, but I'm so much so much worse, so much sloppier. Everything starts to sound the same. So now I'm trying to shift away from like, oh, I'm really upset. I just want to get home and like get really drunk and play my guitar, to like making it more intentional, um, and choosing to make music instead of having it kind of take over me in a way that's sloppy.
Absolutely. I get that. I get that. And I think I've thought that at sometimes as well. Not that I was a big drinker by any means, but I definitely thought, like there's that liquid courage that comes with it. And I'm sure
Yeah,
once you get
for
into the
sure.
habit of that liquid courage, then it starts to become like, this is a better self, right? So,
Yeah. I played one show. We played the Horseshoe in Toronto, and that was I was sober that time. I was sober for 2 months, and that was my first show. I played completely sober, and it was the most exhilarating, vulnerable experience of my life because there was nothing to protect me. I couldn't, if I said something stupid, I couldn't say that I said it because I was drunk,
yeah.
Everything that I was saying, I had to mean.
That's a great place to have that first real experience on stage too. Like,
I
like
love
that's magical. Literally, you said exhilarating, and so the band Beast Music, you guys seem. I went through your Instagrams and stuff like that. Deep dive and how you guys like mesh as a band.
Yeah.
You seem like very good friends. Like you seem like very different people, very good friends. Is that safe to say? Like,
oh yeah. Well, how I got into the band is that the lead guitarist Jim Marchman was my high school English teacher. He was my favorite teacher in high school.
yeah.
And then when I dropped out of school I was in a different band. We all moved to Toronto together to try to, play music. And he called me and asked me if I wanted to come do vocals on a track and do one song kind of thing. And then we recorded that song, and they were like, well, we work really well together. Do you want to join? And I was pretty shit at that time, but Mike was like really vouching for me, being like, no, she could do it. And then I brought in the sax player, Brady, because he was my friend. He was in my other band as well. And then we just kind of became a thing, and we all work really well together.
Yeah,
and I love playing with people who've been playing music for so long and are like so much more experienced and technically skilled than I am. It gives me a lot of opportunities.
And you can only really learn from that, right?
Exactly,
being surrounded by those types of people.
Yeah.
And that's not anything against you. Like you're very, very talented, but it's an amazing thing to have all those talented people around you. Well, and I think that goes for really any successful band is realizing that you can grow from each other, right? Opposed to being like, this is what I do. I don't care to learn anything else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm going to wrap this up, but I do want people to know where to reach you, where to reach Beast Music, so that they can kind of, dive into your music if they haven't already. And I will post a link to one of your videos in the bio as well, so that they can really take a look.
Yeah, so I mean, we have Instagram. It's at Beast Music Band. I'm on Instagram as Foggy Music. It's FOGGE_music_. You can message me or message the band. We're on Spotify, Apple Music, Bandcamp, all that stuff. We just started Twitter, but I'm in charge of it, so there's nothing on it. There's like 2 tweets.
I'm the same way with Twitter.
I'm really like not great with like social media so much. I don't run the Instagram. Our synth player Iggy runs it. She's really good at that kind of thing, so that works out really well.
Sick. Well, yeah, thank you for coming on the podcast. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
It was nice chatting. I know Mike and I are going to go grab a beer. You're more than welcome to join, and we'll all get shit-faced at the Horseshoe.
Sick. Okay, sounds perfect.
I'll talk to you. You have a good one, okay?
Okay. Bye.